This is interesting. Never been on Kick before, so it's all new to me. So should have everything set up for alerts and on Kick, Twitch, and YouTube. The bad thing is because of Twitch's terms and conditions, I can't put like the overlay chat on the screen so that everybody can see the chat from every platform, which is kind of the downside. But the plus side is I did find a way that I can get the chat. So maybe like in a VOD or something that's not against the Twitch's terms, I can post the VOD with the chat overlay. I'm thinking I'm gonna put it like in this area of the screen, and then that way it can be there for the VOD. I don't know if I'll post that everywhere. I'm thinking about posting the VODs to Facebook because you need a certain number of followers to get there. And there is a new update for Fortnite. I haven't checked it out quite yet. I did get the update the other day, and I logged on, and then I went into a match to make sure I got like all the shaders and stuff, but I didn't actually play the game. So it should be fun. I know there's something about Snake. I never really played Snake like back in the day when he was a popular character, but what I did do is play like Smash Brothers and Brawl, and that had Snake in there. And so it's pretty cool to see him make a return because I know that's going to bring a lot of nostalgia back and stuff like that. I will be playing as Oscar today for the sole fact that I, of course, have the tiger as my thumbnail on YouTube, which means, you know, I got to play as Oscar. That's just the right thing to do. So I feel like that's gonna be pretty cool. I thinking maybe next time I'll do like maybe a Peter Griffin one. If we do unlock Snake, I would probably do a Snake thumbnail. I mean, it's just fun, right? It's just fun. That's the whole purpose of doing it. So let's see. We do have a couple games. It's the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship coming up this weekend. Both of them are on Sunday in the afternoon. It's going to be a tough one. I think I could see either team winning in either game. I really could. And I would have to go with who I want to win is going to be the Chiefs over the Ravens. Who I think is going to win, I'm going to have to go with the Ravens over the Chiefs and the 49ers over the Lions. But I could see the Lions game going either way, and the Chiefs win could. Like, I'm not saying they couldn't. But the thing about it is the Ravens are just playing so much better football, and I just don't foresee the Chiefs being able to beat the Ravens. The Ravens have an outstanding kicker. They have an outstanding kicker. They have a great defense, and you just can't beat that. Now, they have great offensive players. Lamar Jackson, I think, is actually the reason that the team is like the weak link of the team. I shouldn't say that they're doing bad. But people seem to think he's just like a great quarterback, but he's getting carried by that team, and it definitely is. Like, there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So we'll have to see what happens there. I do believe that the Chiefs have a chance, but I foresee the Ravens winning. 49ers, I could see them winning over the Lions. Problem with the 49ers right now is that Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle are all questionable. So basically all their key players are questionable, which is not good. The Lions have been playing pretty good football, obviously, to even get to the championship game that they're on. And with the 49ers key players being questionable, even if they do play, that doesn't always mean they're like fully 100%. It means they're good enough to play, but it doesn't mean they're there. So that could be game-changing. How the 49ers beat the Packers, that was really close game. And if it was that close against the Lions, that arguably did beat the Cowboys at home, I just don't foresee the 49ers being able to have too many mix-ups. They're going to have to make sure that their key players are starting and are playing very well. And they do have that chance of winning. They are at home. That will be a big thing too. If the Lions beat the 49ers, I'm not going to be completely upset about it, even though I do think the 49ers are going to win. And I won't be completely shocked by it. I'll be more shocked if the Chiefs can beat the Ravens. I just think that will be a harder game for them to beat. So that's my take on it. Also, the Jim Harbaugh, so the Michigan Wolverines head coach, is now going to be the head coach for the Chargers, which is actually kind of a big turn of events, somewhat. He started out as a U of M player, then went to the Chargers. He played for some other teams as well, but he played for the Chargers, then becomes a head coach for U of M, and then now he's going to be a head coach for the Chargers. So hopefully he can succeed at the NFL level once again. He was in the NFL at one time. And it'd be nice to see the Chargers do well. They already have I think they do have a good team to some extent, and they need the right leadership. And of course, that's what the upper management has noticed probably, and that's why they're getting a new head coach. So that would be interesting too. It might take them a season or two to get in tune with the team, be able to connect with them, and play out how they want things to work out. But I do believe that could be a really good team. They're already kind of playoff contention teams. They already went to the playoffs, once in the past couple years. This year, they were right on the brink. And so they're there. They just probably need better leadership. And now they're more likely going to get it, which is great. And again, I'm not a huge Chargers fan, but I do like to see teams do well because it creates more competition. And the more competition, the more intriguing it is to watch the matches. And that's kind of my thing about this weekend. I hope none of the matches are blowouts. They shouldn't be. I'm expecting them not to be, but they could be. Whenever I think a game is not going to be a blowout, it seems to be a blowout. And whenever a game I don't think is going to be, I'm always opposite. I always am. I've never had it right. I can pick teams. I haven't been doing good picking teams, though. I am at a 500 win-loss right now picking teams, which is the worst I've ever done. And so every season, my buddies and I, we get together, and I ask them every single week, from week 1 all the way through the Super Bowl, what their picks are, and we all keep track of them. Who has the best win-loss ratio at the end of the season? Normally, I do pretty good, and this year I'm fighting to have more wins than losses, and it's just A rating, and I don't know why. I crapped it up in fantasy. I had 2 fantasy leagues, and I missed the playoffs in both of them. And then right now, I'm in last place for picking teams each and every week, and I'm fighting to stay positive. And at this point, I know I'm not going to be able to catch my buddies and win losses, but I just don't want to have more losses than wins. I don't want to end the season that way. So I am going to pick the Ravens and 49ers. I think that would probably just be the better way to go. I don't know if that is there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there as well of the color scheme. And this is where it gets really interesting, right? So with the color scheme, it's supposed to be all purple and a little bit of red up top. So that kind of indicates it's probably going to be like a Ravens 49ers if we're looking into this conspiracy theory. What's cool about this is that when I'm looking at this conspiracy theory, I'm sitting there going, want to know what's interesting is the fact that when you look at the past 2 Super Bowls, there's also another pattern, 2 other patterns. And in the other 2 Super Bowls, you had the Chiefs and the Eagles, and Chiefs and the Eagles and the Rams and the Bengals. Both their logos represented the team's colors as well, which could happen again this year. But here's another thing, is the Chiefs and Rams both won their respective Super Bowls. But the 2 patterns that I picked up on as well, not just the color scheme of who would go, but who could possibly win if we're going off that theory of the color determines, then when you look at those past 2 logos, the Chiefs color of red in that logo has less than what the green is. And it's off to the bottom of the logo. For the Rams and the Bengals, the yellow and the orange, there's a lot less yellow than there is orange. But their color is at the bottom. So 2 last Super Bowls, the 2 teams that won had the least amount of color in the logo and were located at the bottom of the logo. This year, the least amount of color is red, and it's at the top. So if the conspiracy theory is that who goes to the Super Bowl is based off the logo colors, and we know it's purple and red, which would have to be the Ravens and the 49ers. Who would win going off that color theory? Is it the team with the least amount of color in the logo, which would mean the 49ers, or is it the color at the bottom of the logo, which would be the Ravens? So it could be pretty interesting if we want to take a deep dive into that conspiracy theory. I think it's pretty cool personally, but I don't know. Here's another thought too. The Ravens seem to really want to make sure that Lamar Jackson is the face of the franchise. So there's that in my back of my mind too. Okay, the NFL wants Lamar to be the face of the franchise, but if the NFL wants the Chiefs to go, because then there's a good likely chance that Taylor Swift will go, and even though she won't perform, she would still be there, and we see how much she's drawn ratings just by simply going to these games. So it would just get even more publicity for the Super Bowl, as if they really need more at this point. And that makes me think too, could the Chiefs possibly go? But I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, that's all conspiracy theories. Personally, if it's coming down to team, I'm still thinking Chiefs and 49ers. But the Lions could definitely win against the 49ers. I could see it. I really could. So if you've played the new Fortnite update, what are we thinking of it? Because I'm curious. I've heard a couple people say that they seem to think that the aim assist got buffed. And so that is interesting because we all know that there's the debate between aim assist and keyboard and mouse sparks a lot of debate. And so if it is secretly buffed, and people did find out about it, is that going to make things really hostile in the Fortnite community for a little bit or what? I think that could be interesting. I don't know if it did. I don't know. Definitely at least trios tonight. All right. I mean, I don't have much more to really talk about, I guess. So if I can get in and spectate a solo, but you guys aren't on until 7 is when we're going to get into gameplay. I know that a lot of people have been playing, what's the PAL Worlds or whatever it's called? Is that what it is? Yeah, there we go. PAL World. You can see the whole map. I've heard the map is huge. How can I say it looks like a good game, but it doesn't look like my kind of game. I've played Sons of the Forest, I played the building survival games, and they're good, they're decent. I can see the appeal, but they're so slow paced. I got to do the bang bang shoot 'em up, that's what I got to do. I got to have some action in there. I can't just sit there and be oh man, working in the coal mines. That's fun. This is fun. I do that every day. I'm on day 11 right now with no days off. Tomorrow's day 12, and I'll finally get a day off tomorrow at 3 o'clock when I punch out. Boom. Home for the weekend. And the bad thing is, I worked last weekend. And for those that don't know, I love to bobcat hunt. And I love to bear hunt. That's the best. And with bobcat hunting, you need good snow to not cut up the dog's feet. And I didn't go because I was working. And then this weekend, it gets hot throughout the week, which means there's a lot of moisture in the snow. And then if it freezes, it's going to be all ice and it will cut up the dog's feet and won't be able to go. And now that it's so warm, If it doesn't cool down, there will be too much water in the snow to where the dogs won't be able to get scent, and that absolutely sucks too. So I might not be able to go bobcat hunting now. And bobcat hunting, it only lasts for 2 months. There's the trapping season, but the hunting season only lasts for 2 months. So I'm pretty ticked off, and it's unfortunate. I really want to get a bobcat, and I haven't gotten one yet. I was there with one. I've watched my buddy get one. I was supposed to get it, but what happened was that bobcat came to the road, took off down the road. And usually when we're running it with the dogs, when they come down the road and they start actually running down the road and not just crossing it, it normally means that they're gassed. They're tired and they're ready to hunker down. So that he runs down the road, we turn around the truck and we start going down after him. He goes back into the woods. I grab my shotgun, load it up, and I'm sitting there and I'm trying to look through the trees, and it's not super thick, but it's like new growth stuff, and I couldn't find him. And I finally found him, and I'm watching him. My buddy goes around the truck, grabs his gun. I'm like, there he is. And I kind of pointed at him, and I was watching him with my gun. And he goes, okay. And so I get down farther. But when I did that, I lost track of him. And my buddy's like, shoot it. And I'm like, I can't find it. Wham! And he shoots it. And he's like, dude, I'm sorry, but he turned back for the road. And I didn't want him to come back to the road with the dogs coming near. I was like, dude, no, you're good. Like, he felt so awful that he shot the cat that was intended to be for me. But I was completely fine with it. Like, I really was. And I'm happy that he got it. I'm happy that we got one in general. Like, I love just being around the dogs and running with the dogs. So to me, that was great. And to me, to run a bobcat was just amazing. And so, but he felt bad. It's like, no, dude, you don't have to feel bad at all in the slightest. Like, it's good, but I still want to get one. And I was really hoping that this year I could get one. But the snow conditions are just not working out for us.